WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Scotland. I'm at Benrinnes. This is a 2007 bottling from the Signatory vintage. The Un-Chillfiltered collection Signatory vintage. Single malt Scotch whiskey. And I love what they say here. Due to non-chill filtration, one word, I usually use a hyphen. This whiskey may turn cloudy when stored in a cool place, and it is much more full-bodied and full-flavored, natural colored. Cask individually selected and bottled by Signatory Vintage Scotch Whisky Company Limited in Scotland. So selected and bottled in Scotland for the Armoury. This is actually an interesting company, but I won't talk about them because it's all German. So, nice looking bottle. If I may start complaining, and I'm going to complain a little bit here on this video, is first of all, why do you have orange lettering on an orange label? You can see that there, right? Nope, no go. Now, to be very, very honest, the font here, the lettering looks like it's 1923 somehow. It's not really what I would admit. It's metal. That's nice. It dents very, very easily. I can just put my thumb in there and I can just dent everything. So it's very, very thin. And also the Benrinnes down below, the 2017 here. Why is it pink skin type of color? I don't know. All right, good. All the information is needed on the label. Very, very good. So it was distilled on the 19th of June 2007. Very, very good. It was bottled on the 1st of November 2018. Great. So it's 11 years old. This was cask number 306478. Wonderful. What was it? It was a bourbon barrel. Was it a first fill? Was it a second fill? Who knows? A bourbon barrel. I thought that was just a little bit funny. 46% non-chilled filtered, no color added. Yay. 59 euros, so let's say it's about $72 in the States. And this is a single cask, so it's 256 bottles. Now, this was actually bottled for the world single malt. I'll try to show this to you again here. Yep, there you go. It's a company, that's all you need to know. All right, they sort of cigars and then started actually bottling then spirits. So I always compare. I like to compare, so I'm going to pull out another Signatory vintage, but this is a 43%. This is a 21-year-old Glenallachie, 1996. Very, very nice bottling, actually. If you like pink Flora grapefruit in your whiskey, this is the one to go for. This was actually a mix of two bourbon hogsheads. A very, very nice thing what they did back then. This was the cask number 5263, 526. I can't read. Yeah, exactly. 5262, 5263. So there was a total of 409 bottles instead of just 200 and some. So that's something Signatory likes to do, mix two barrels, sister barrels together. Very, very nice idea. Why not? Actually, in the nose, this is nice. It's very vanilla. It's a little bit of a vanilla salt water taffy moment. This would be a pink grapefruit saltwater taffy moment as well. The grain is tiny little bit there. The alcohol 46 versus 43%, but in just an average, there's not much going on there. And this is the second Benrinnes I've actually had. Benrinnes. This is something I've not really bothered with that much so far. I had one, the Flora and Fauna, and had a lot of sulfur in it. It just didn't do it for me. And the blind tasting, I think, was almost the last one that was there. So let's try this, and I have a theory. Wait a second. My theory is that the guy that picked this tasted it and spit the whiskey out before he actually swallowed. Because if he had swallowed, he would have realized this is like a third fill bourbon barrel. So don't forget, bourbon, 4 years. First fill bourbon barrels, 12 years. Second fill bourbon barrel, 16 years. Third fill bourbon barrel, maybe even 20 years. And the fourth fill bourbon barrel, maybe here the 11 years. So you can have a barrel that's been used for 60-some years, and it's just yuck. Imagine a tea bag that you've used once, yeah. Second, well. Third, nothing. Fourth, even less. And you start getting all these tannins, all these wood, and this sour dough type of wood moment, which I just don't like. And actually, if I do this, wait a second. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Nice. The alcohol kicks in, the vanilla kicks in. There's a faint little moment here of some type of bad wood, but it's like, nah, it can't be that bad. And then you actually taste it, and you let that after that taste, that finish, just cover all your palate and all your senses here. And you go, ugh. And it takes like 1, 2, ugh. And that wood just kicks in and ruins the entire experience for you. Now, if you know a little bit about Scotland, you know that usually you can buy barrels in a batch. Let's say usually the 100 cask batch. Adelphi is one of the companies I've had the privilege of tasting and also interviewing people from the Adelphi bottlers as well as the new distillery. And they say, hey, when we have 100 barrels, we pick maybe between 7 and 10 of the 100. And what do you do with the other 90? You sell them to someone else. Let's say you sell them to Signatory. And Signatory tastes them and go, oh, there's like, of the 90 left, or you add in some more, whatever. Of the 100 that they got, there's like, 50 we're going to take. What happens to the other 50 that are not good enough for Signatory? Well, they go to whiskey brokers. And the whiskey brokers are the guys who actually sell the whiskey then to independent labels, stores, and so on. And maybe there's still a couple nice little honey picks in there, but usually most of the good stuff has gone to the big boys, and then the big boys, and then what's left over for us little guys who want to do maybe a single bottling experience for our own club is not the best stuff in the world. And I'm fairly positively sure that the guy from Ermuri didn't actually taste this and swallow. He might not even tasted it. He probably maybe just went, oh, that's a nice bottle. Next. Okay, got it. I'm finished. Next. And that's what really disappoints me. If you're going to be the purchasing manager, the purchasing guy for single casks, taste it, swish it, swallow, come back after lunch, try it again, little nip, and then try it one last time. 3 times is what you should have, and then you know what you actually have in your bottle. And you get little samples anyways. You're not going to the warehouse. You're not actually taking it there out of the cask. If you did, it wouldn't taste the same because it's 46%. There's not a cask in Ireland where it's Scotland that's 46%. And so that would not actually be what they do. So what they do is they send little samples, you try them, and then you get to actually then choose from the 3, 4, 5, or 10 samples that were given to you. I'm so sorry, this is not one of my favorites. This is going to get actually a C-. I'm being nice. It has a wonderful nose. It has a very good nose. At the very beginning, it comes in very, it has that saltwater taffy moment. It has the The honey has a little bit of the vanilla, has a little bit of that alcohol, but then the finish is just such a wood disappointment that I just cannot rate this any higher. Value for money, of course, is going to be a D. I think almost usually, I would say, I'm going to just give a number here. 8 out of 10. So 4 out of 5 signatory vintages have actually been a great value for money, have been great bottles, have actually tasted better than their price. This, unfortunately, was not one of them, and it's not even signatory vintage problem. It's the problem of the bottler that selected this, selected and bottled in Scotland for El Rum and Muri. They were the guys that did it. Going back here to my signature vintage, 43%, 46%, 21-year-old Glenallachie. You're going to pay, I think I paid 55, 60 euros for this. At the moment, Glenallachie, 21-year-old, after Billy Walker bought it, goes for 180, 200 euros. So this is a steal. Pineapple, grapefruit, very, very, almost tart. But the wood at the end is just a tiny little bit there where I'm going, oh, nope, it's okay. But 21 euros. So probably the second or third fill. Let's go for hopefully the second fill bourbon barrel. So 1 in America, 2 in Scotland, and third time, second fill bourbon barrel in Scotland. Exactly right. What's going to happen the third time? Maybe this. Who knows? 21 years. Look at the coloring. No color added. No color added. So almost the same, right? Very, very good. That's the way it should be. The darkness of the whiskey is not always the factor with Scotch. 21 years in a not-so-active cask still makes a very nice whiskey. 11 years in a somewhat dead, old, used cask, also not the best thing, but yet it still has the color. So, my question of the day is, which bottlings of Signatory do you know of? Of course, you have the Kleinisch, 23 years old, or 24 years old, or 25 years old. Those are great. What other products from Signatory have you tried that you would recommend? This bottle was actually given to me as a gift. It was a going away present from a cement factory where I worked out in my hometown in Legadorf. The guys actually put some money in a hat and they bought this for me. They went to the local whiskey store, the spirit store, and said, hey, and the guy actually behind the counter, he grew up with my son, so he knows me pretty well. And Jakob said, oh, I guarantee you Jason doesn't have this one, because there's basically 256 bottles. There was an allocation of just a few bottles in each store, and so I definitely had not had this yet. Thank you very much for doing that for me very much, guys. All right, all the best. So, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Not every time I like them. C-, value for money D. That's the way it is sometimes. And I will see you here. My videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every once in a while I throw in a little live stream. Who knows, especially if I get something sent to me that no one else has yet tried. And so we'll be anxiously awaiting the next packages that arrive at my doorstep. All right, WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye. See you soon. Ciao.